Okay, my camera isn't working, which is nice. And just didn't give me 1 second, folks. I'll be back.
I refuse to give Matt even a single second.
We've been given the authority.
Okay. So once upon a time in Middle-earth, there was someone called Winky, and she definitely killed her husband with a cow.
100%.
That, or it was some kind of like insurance scam gone wrong.
Yeah, it's interesting how Winky has all this freedom now.
Well, that was the thing that I found funny. Like, more than the cow, it really made her reevaluate her life, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was that part
What am I doing?
Which, it would if you'd spent the last 60 years of your life on a farm.
In a way,
with a guy who just got crushed.
Yeah. Did I give up my botany dreams for this farm life?
Yeah.
Now, what has it given me other than a crushed
husband?
Look, in order to make a character good, you have to brutally murder at least one of their direct relatives.
It's the George R. R. Martin principle.
It's how character creation works.
Very good.
Yeah, it's height, hair color,
eye color,
eye color, which relative has died.
Yeah, absolutely.
Specify at least one.
And so, most one.
On that note, welcome back, folks, from our break. Cam is working fine now. Sam is out walking the dog and taking care of these things. So we'll just loiter until he returns, I think. That's what we'll do. If anyone in chat has any comments or questions they want to put in, because I had to leave and come back in, I've only seen the ones just that people might have posted just recently, but I don't think there's anything else. But there's one right here from John. There we go. Pierre's managed to get a few chuckles out of my mum, so that's mildly worrying.
Well, I will perform that service any day.
Herb's speeches have just been killing me.
Each and every time.
It's occurred to me that I'm sort of like the opposite, like the anti-Ingrid, where she'll tell the people like a comforting story that is based on dubious principles, and I'll tell them the truth that will cause them to crumble and die.
Good cop, bad cop, but for inspiring speeches.
Yeah. I think I just sort of set them up for Ingrid to knock it out of the park.
The thing is, you tell them that even when it's not directly from you. If you just hear someone over the side going, "We're all going to die," you're like, "Yeah, well, we might all die."
Yeah,
even though you just didn't have to do at all.
The master of the yes and.
Yeah. Steve says, "Murder, She Wrote," the LOTRO tales. And linked to that, John, did she bribe the cow?
Oh man.
Yeah. I
mean, some real questions here.
There's definitely something suspicious going on there.
I mean, cows are actually enormous compared to hobbits. Thinking about it,
that's why I thought and most of them are farmers, so it's gonna happen.
I mean, you'd have thought that hobbits would have bred smaller cows.
You'd think, but
no.
Even bigger than in our world.
The bigger the cow, the more milk, the more cheese.
I vaguely remember that at some point in the Jackson trilogy, probably in Fellowship, we do see a hobbit trying to pull a cow along and not having a great time of doing it. And all I can remember about the cow is it's one of those cows that's all ribby in the middle, but then has a massive arse.
Mm-hmm.
A common thing to remember.
Steve says, "Which of your relatives has been killed by a cow? Please specify in the space below." John says you can get micro cows.
Oh,
so.
Which I'm sure are adorable, but they probably don't, as Inga said, they probably don't produce nearly enough milk for Hobbit level consumption.
No, it's true, because it is that thing, right? That even though it's it's a Hobbit sort of thing,
Well, just enough milk and cheese to cover what breakfast, second breakfast, and 11s is going to be more than most people would need for it.
Yeah. Look, I am Googling Fellowship of the Ring cow, but I cannot see a picture of.
Maybe you dreamt
there's a picture. There's a very bad picture, but you know that cow is actually it's exactly the opposite of what I said. It's got a ribby bum, but it's pretty copiously.
It's funny how memory works, Matt.
There is this though, which is perhaps the best thing in the search Fellowship of the Ring cow. And it's also kind of ironic because it's not, in fact, from Fellowship of the Ring. It is, in fact, from Return of the King. But there we go.
I mean, that is basically the image of the cows coming to kill Winky's husband.
Yeah.
His last flash you saw before he died.
Those are the Mooma cow arriving at the Battle of Pelennor Fields. Steve says, "Was that from the extended edition?" Yeah, it's one of the reasons why we need to watch the extended edition.
This will be one of some of this previously unseen footage that should be coming out with the new one this year.
Yeah. They actually go into like the people who look after the Moor cow in the appendices in the extended edition.
Yeah.
So you're really good to get it. Yeah.
And you really get like the lineage of them.
Oh yeah. You get a little printout with it as well. That's got it all listed in there.
John's tickled me with this one.
I mean, it really
CGI
does.
still holds up.
I mean, yeah.
There we go. We'll see if Sam hadn't gone out for a walk.
We wouldn't have had this conversation.
We wouldn't have had this. And who wants that? No one. That's it. Yeah. How are you guys finding the One Ring system?
It's going pretty good. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. After I'll talk about the aiming action that you can take. I'm excited to try out some more combat because I might actually hit something this time, which would be thrilling.
Yeah, I think that really will help. I think it's almost like a necessity if you've got like lower bow skills.
Yeah. Well, especially because like hobbits don't have much that you can get in the way of strength anyway, and I took one of the lower options, so I think yeah.
It's interesting because like there is just the whole thing about feat dice being like a weird D12 means that like there's quite a lot of variability in terms of how successful you are at various things. I think that's the thing I'm noticing is because like even if you have like 3 pips in a thing, I suppose that does tend. I suppose that averages as a bonus of +9 or something, or but like there's still quite a lot of variance in terms of actual outcomes that I've been seeing in terms of rolls.
Yeah. It's kind of nice that they have that 1/12 possibility for that to always be a success though. So even if you're that luck element, which you don't get in all other systems, like for some it can just be impossible depending on what your stats are.
Yeah. For some systems they just make it so that you cannot succeed at certain activities, which can make sense in the system, but for Middle Earth you always want there to be some kind of fantastical possibility that you can do something.
To get all Tolkien-y scholar about it, a chance for you catastrophe, which is the term to define hope emerging out of seeming hopelessness, which was obviously his bag.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yep. And I like the hope thing.
Questions coming up in chat, by the way.
John, why aren't we talking about whatever Herb did to drive his son away?
I think the real answer is...
And what did that have to do with cows?
Well, I mean, Matt dropped a bombshell on me just before the break. So regarding the sun. So at least for a little while, I'm going to wonder about that.
Is his son even still alive? Is there any evidence? Perhaps we should search under Herb's patio.
Look, you think I'm fancy enough to have a patio?
For our non UK viewers, a patio is like an area of flagstone in your backyard that is mainly used to hide bodies. If you are either a character in like a soap drama in the 90s or an actual killer in the 90s, because it seemed like they always had bodies under their patio.
Yeah.
If you ever move house, find a patio and decide you want to dig it up to put in like a proper garden and a lawn and stuff, inevitably you find something you don't want to be finding.
Yeah. Just brace yourself for a couple of years of police investigations.
Yeah, have 999 pre-dialed.
Yeah. It's like anyone who has a basement in Austria. You know, something sketchy is going to happen. I mean, I'm nothing against Austrians. Just a few years ago, it just seemed like Austria. Are you okay? Yeah. So there we go.
Yeah. Herb is not at the moment, as far as like the improv goes for me. I'm not trying to play him like a serial killer. We'll see where like it ends up, but
but that is a possibility. Okay, well,
just.
I mean, he can't be a serial killer because literally his son has just been referenced as being alive.
Well,
and evil.
Maybe it's just somebody called Rem. Who knows?
Yeah, just randomly
just some guy with the same name.
It's not the same one. What?
Did I miss something? Did we know that your son was called Rem?
I think I probably mentioned it.
I only know that he's called Rem because earlier when he was doing his character description, like introduction, he referred to them as Rem. And I think the first time around I made a joke that he was Rem Lazar, who is a bizarre children's like cheapo made video character from who features in a
right over my head. I did not
YouTube series called Best of the Worst.
I don't know if Herb has actually mentioned it to Ingrid specifically. I think he has referenced his son several times.
Yeah. I don't think he might. It's up to you whether like. I'm happy if he hasn't. I'm happy for for it to be.
In the next 30 seconds or so, I'm going to explain to you why I'm very shocked at the hearing of the name Rem.
Herb is going to read that, make the instant wire connections in his head of Rem has joined the Blackwolves, therefore the best way for me to protect him is to serve the Blackwolves' bidding, and immediately just turn on you, impale both hobbits, and that's what's going to happen.
Judging by his success so far in combat, I'm not too worried.
Yeah. John, when we moved into our family home and dug up our patio, we just found a huge amount of concrete chunks and broken glass.
Oh yeah, that's the other alternative, is you just find all of the stuff from the house that the builders chucked in the back garden and then put a patio over the top of it.
Or, hey, maybe someone killed someone with those concrete chunks and broken glass. You never know. You never know. So it looks like we've got a Sam back, returned from his adventures in the wild with his dog. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
You missed a delightful Photoshop of giant cows attacking the riders of Rohan. But
can I demand this Photoshop back? I need to see it.
Okay, I'll bring it just for you, Sam.
Oh,
just for you. I'll bring it back for a second. There you go.
The art CGI, not Photoshop.
They didn't even change the legs. Oh my God. I love it.
There we go.
Thank you.
Never say that we don't treat you here on telling tales to things like that.
I'll always remember it.
Okay, let's crack back on with it. So you're walking away from the Blackwolves' Roost back towards the Hunter's Lodge. Oh, you've all shuffled round now. That's made me really confused. I'm going to move everyone back because otherwise I'm going to feel that something's horribly wrong. Like I've stepped into the worst timeline. So, Winky, you have just read these details in this parchment. You've seen the map, and I believe you're pondering talking to Nate, who's leading you through the Vale back towards the Hunter's Lodge. But
yes, yeah.
do we want to establish, because as Herb was saying there, do we want to establish whether Herb has mentioned his son's name to you?
I can't remember him mentioning
pretty sure
any of us.
I'll say it's up to Pierre then whether Herb has mentioned the name of his son throughout this journey so far.
I'll say I haven't.
I don't think you did. Yeah.
Okay.
But at this moment, upon hearing that this captain had sent his what was it? It was that he'd sent his boy Rem to.
Well, Winky didn't read it out loud. I don't think. Winky was just did you?
I probably would have been reading it out loud.
That's absolutely fine.
Yeah,
then then take it away, Pierre. This is your Oscar. This is your Oscar moment.
Rem, that's my boy. What the hell? What the hell is he doing with these Blackwolves?
Wait, what do you mean?
Your son is
No, he would never
Rem.
do that.
Is it?
Yes, my boy. I'm sure I mentioned it. Rem Rushfoot. Sorry, Rushlight.
It doesn't say a last name, but it's okay. I mean that complicates things.
Is Rem a very common name?
I'm sorry. In your Oscar moment, Pierre, you forgot your own name.
My son's name. Look, he's
And also yours by
name.
extension.
He's dead to me. He's dead to me.
Sure.
Is it a very common name around these parts?
Let's say no, just to avoid any mystery to the
I'm happy for
element
that
of it.
I'm happy for that to be the case. I just wanted her to say
There's
that. I
no
presume
way
you would.
No, I know it. It's him. I knew something bad would have happened to him. Oh, he's fallen in with the wrong crowd.
The very wrong crowd. You don't want to mess with these lot.
I'm sure he doesn't know what he's doing. We need to go and... I need to go and talk some sense into him.
Still, him being the one guarding the person that the Blackwolves don't trust might be beneficial for us.
I'm sorry, I just need a moment.
While Herb is having his moment, I will maybe go. And this point on the map.
We'll ask Nate about the map.
Sure. He's walking along. He looks a little bit taken aback by Herb's moment, and then kind of glances at the map where you're pointing at the marking and says, "Oh, that's the east path."
The east path into the village? What?
It's an old path through some ruins in the middle of the hill. But there's a barricade, a big fence all around the jail yard to block it off.
I'm betting this Calder has had something to do with getting them away through there or something lately.
Yeah,
Maybe, but they won't have an easy time. That's why Atlee's gone. There are spiders there.
There was there was that Blackwall that was being kept in the jail as well in Archett. If Calder maybe got him freed or something like that, there might be a traitor on the inside again who could help from the other side. I don't know.
I think
we have to
we
warn
should
them.
to help
Maybe.
Atlee.
All right. Well, give me those, and I'll take them back to John. And you four go to the east path. See if Atlee's in trouble.
I think he will be.
Should we go there or to
I'm going
your
to find my son.
first?
I mean,
well,
isn't
your son's in the Chetwood by the sound of it.
Okay. Which is away from where...
It's outside the valley, so you can't get out there right now.
Okay.
But just to go over the contents of the letter, the Blackwolves have seemingly allied themselves with what they refer to as men from the north, they also refer to them as Angmar and say that if they don't betray them and they have their back, then it's possible that Bree will be handed over to the Black Wolves.
That's what I asked. Do any of us know about the Men of the North or Angmar?
This is going to be a challenging one, I think. But
I was going to say, would we also, because obviously Amdir introduced himself as a Ranger of the North, like, would we know them, like Men of the North, as being distinct from Rangers of the North as a separate set of people?
Well, let us find out. If everyone can make a law roll, please.
Would Shadow Law as my distinctive feature help at all?
It would. If you want to spend a hope, I am perfectly happy for you to take 2 dice on that.
I might as well. I mean, I have no pips, though, but I have quite good wits, so yeah.
Hail for me.
I just make it on a 14.
I was 1 off.
Okay. In that case, the 3 others of you have no idea who Men from the North could be or what Angmar is. Winky, I won't give you the full details here with just kind of like that success you've got. But what I will give you is that you are definitely well aware that there are lots of different peoples to the north. So these Men of the North may have nothing to do with the Rangers of the North that Amdir seems to be a representative of, and you feel like you've heard the name Angmar before in some story or old tale, but you can't quite put your finger on it. But you know that clearly at some point perhaps it made an impression on you, because just the name, the word Angmar, sends a chill up your spine.
Okay. Before Nate rushes off, can I ask him if the Men of the North or Angmar mean anything to him?
No, nothing.
Either way, sounds troubling.
I also wanted to ask him, you said spiders in that path. We saw another totem. Is it possible, do you think that, I mean, the other one was to do with wolves. Do you think they could ally the spiders?
I honestly, I don't know. This is far beyond me. Ask Atlee, though. He's a dwarf who's seen a lot.
You're right. We'll ask him. Maybe mention that when you see John again as well.
I will.
You saw another totem. Did you destroy it like the other one?
We
No.
couldn't get close enough.
The Black Wolves were watching it, and they would definitely have noticed us doing so.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
do what we can.
Yeah, let's get there as fast as possible.
As you reach kind of the most southern tip of that quite still, pleasant lake that the hunting lodge lies on, Nate dashes off to the right-hand side, obviously knows a quicker way back to the lodge. You yourselves wander over to the left. He's given you kind of directions where the entrance to the east path, apparently not too far from the way towards the hunting lodge with the bridge over the lake. And as you move to the north west, you can kind of very clearly see, and maybe even catch some noise from Archet over to the northwest. You can see the kind of chimneys going and drifting in the breeze. The sun has peeked out from behind the clouds now, so it's quite a bit more bright and warm. And as you move to the northwest, you can kind of see in the distance off to your left, kind of the end of Archet's palisade as it gives way to this sort of gentle hill that rises next to you. And as you walk a bit further forwards, you see ahead of you more of those tumble-down ruins that look similar to Bronway's Folly and the Black Wolves' Roost. But these ones far more wrecked and tumble down than the others. And as you get closer, you can see that almost there's like a scoop out of this hill that borders Archet to the east, and through the middle of this, the ruins seem to go. And as you get closer to them, you can see that these ruins are strung head to foot, with kind of glistening and glittering slightly in the wind and drifting almost as if they have a mind of their own, are a lot of cobwebs.
Oh man, this This is not good.
I hate spiders.
Yeah, I'm not particularly keen on them either.
I'm feeling rather like I'm missing Celandine in her tinderbox. Is anybody else? I'm just satisfied with a lot of this.
Can we see the dwarf anywhere?
Can we see any tracks?
Yeah, you know what? Give me a oh, pardon me. Is there a hunt? There is a hunting roll, which I think is probably the most appropriate. And anyone who wants to look around for some tracks can give me a hunting roll.
Yeah, I am not going to be able to do this one.
Yeah.
It's one of my favoured skills. Does that mean I roll?
You roll the feat
Two.
die twice.
The highest? Yeah.
Winky says.
Ingrid has fairly good hunt though.
I do, but I rolled a Sauron.
Oh.
Oh,
I love the idea
That's
of Winky
Sauron.
going, "Are there any tracks?" and then looking at everyone else like, "Guys."
yeah.
No, I failed.
Then no one can see any tracks. You
must
didn't like succeed with your other two dice or anything, did you? Because it just counts as a 0 when you roll.
Oh,
Sauron.
right. It would have been a 10, which is still a fail, but it rolled pretty well, 6 and a 4, but not enough.
Not enough.
Because I've fought spiders in my military campaigns.
Mhm.
Do I know anything about like their behavior, like whether they would take somebody to their lair rather than killing them or anything like that?
Well, they'll certainly string someone up for a while before they decide to feed on them.
If he
But
isn't,
I mean, just because you can't see him doesn't mean that he's strung up somewhere.
Okay.
You can see that there's like a sort of rough path through the ruins ahead of you. It's just kind of draped to the sides and occasionally across with cobwebs.
okay, let's follow that path then.
Sounds good.
Okay. Are you?
As we go in, can I ready an arrow in my bow?
Absolutely. As you kind of stride forward, are we being cautious? Are we kind of trying to sneak, or are we being a bit more sort of weapons out, sort of, being bold about it?
I would like to sneak if anyone else.
Yeah, I think that's the instinct.
You see, my instinct was the opposite, I think.
I prefer not to advertise our presence too much.
That's good. Herb can go ahead loudly, and
I will go ahead loudly because
With Inga.
I think the spiders they'll if they're still around here, they'll be feeling us through the web. It's no use being quiet.
Still being quiet, despite what Herb says, anyway.
Yeah,
Sure.
me too.
Well, why don't we? Why don't we have just
around rather than my bow? So if I need to hack away any bits to make space.
Sure. Why don't we have conflicting rolls? And everyone who wants to be quiet, give me a stealth roll. And everyone who wants to be bold and maybe kind of intimidate them away, give me an awe roll.
That's a 20 for me.
I have 0 in that skill. So how do I roll 0? There we go.
Oh, I actually failed. I got a 13. I needed 14.
I rolled a 1. Which is about as bad as it can be.
Total of 1.
A total of 1. Oh,
Nice.
A 13 for me, which is a fail.
Okay.
So I did roll a
Sure.
10.
I am a blur.
You are a blur. So Winky is like a ghost, making no sound as she creeps through. No rustle from her pockets. No sound of those furry feet hitting the ground. The rest of you, Otho, you basically keep getting bits of you snagged in the web and just kind of desperately trying to get them off. Ingrid and Herb, you're trying to be bold, but there's an odd odor about this place, like a bitterness that you're entirely unhappy about. And every few paces, the webs kind of just tremble as though there is movement further away where you cannot see. And every now and again, all of you hear a soft silk just like very light things rubbing against each other, like spindly appendages scampering somewhere beyond in the shadow where you can't see. The path itself to the ruins is not particularly long. You round kind of a couple of corners past these webs hung off the ruins until you emerge into a bit more of an open space. And there are a few things to note here. At the very far end of that open space is the palisade of Archit, where it's been set up around the jail yard, essentially. Ahead of you, there's a couple of things. One is that on the ground there is a sort of dark, dim form that you can't make out too well, mostly because it's covered in webs kind of pinning it to the ground. And next to it, axe out, is Atlee Spiderbane, who's sort of prodding at the form under the web. And as you emerge from the trail of the east path, he looks over to you and says, "Took your time."
Hey, I'm sorry we couldn't come sooner. But we're here now. Who's this?
Blackwold, I reckon. He kicks the form again. You don't think the form can feel it ever again.
Right.
How did you know we would be here? How did you know this place was... the Blackwolds were going to use this place? We found it marked on a map.
I already knew about it. Came here looking for these spiders. Not easy to find for me. They know my name.
Well, the Blackwolds seem to be intending to use this path for something. I don't know what. Perhaps an entrance, although it doesn't look very safe.
Aye, that's what John and I figured. Looks like this one scouted it out for them. Not too successfully.
Well, honestly, if they want to try...
Well, can we do something to bar the way to stop this being used as an entrance, or perhaps they intend it as an escape? I don't know, but if they intend to use it somehow, surely we should try to stop them.
Aye, that's what I reckon. Here's what we'll do. If you are agreeable, I'll start making a start around here, laying a trap for them. You lot, go back to John, fetch the hunters, and this is where we'll spring our surprise on them. If they don't come out of here at all, that's fine. We'll clamber over that palisade into Archit and join the fight. But I'd wager they plan on springing a little surprise of their own down here. And if we can stop that happening, maybe they can hold the gate.
There's no way they'd expect us, I'm sure. The spiders won't be a problem. Are there any here?
Not for me.
Very well.
He hefts his axe and looks very confident about that he can hold his own against spiders. I mean, you know, he does have that name.
He earned it.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's go. Let's go tell John.
All right. Safe travels. He pokes the Blackwold a bit more. He's very dead. Oh, and it occurs to me I didn't show the image. There we go.
Oh yeah, just a mush.
And then he kind of starts kind of looking around at like the rocks and plants around for like good hiding spots and things like that as you turn and make your way out. Any difference in approach as we're making our way out of the ruins, or?
No, I'm doing the same thing.
I think that seeing that I was a bit of a coward going in, I'll probably try following their lead.
Sure.
Inga was going to keep rushing.
That's fair enough. Either way, you make your way out of the east path. Much as you came in, you still see those spider webs trembling every now and then and hear unpleasant little noises. But you breathe a sigh of relief as you emerge from the east path and start making your way. And we're in kind of like sort of maybe mid-afternoon now. sort of the sun is behind the cloud, gone behind the clouds again, and you start striking out for the Hunter's Lodge. Is that where we're going back to talk to John?
Yep.
Okay. You make your way back to the Hunter's Lodge, and we can have that image up again. And as you are kind of making your way across the bridge ahead of you, you see John Brackenbrook and Nate Whisperwood kind of talking quite animatedly outside the doorway. And John kind of turns towards you as he sees you coming across the bridge and starts sort of striding towards you. It's again like another like maybe half an hour, 45 or so minutes have passed, and like the sun isn't going down now, but like it's definitely like darkness is sort of starting to fall. You're entering those kind of twilight hours. And as he takes a few paces towards you, you see as you get sort of close to him, like just a look on his face, his eyes widen and his mouth opens slightly. And he just kind of like turns back to Nate and howls, "Get the hunters ready! Now! Now!"
I turn to where he's looking.
There is a vast pillar of smoke climbing up into the sky from where Archet sits.
Right.
And we won't take an extended break, but we'll give a brief moment now for Sam to go feed the dog. But we're not going to go anywhere.
Damn dog needs so much.
That's a nice mini cliffhanger, you know? Yeah, mini cliffhanger for a second, folks. Exciting stuff. Oh.
So, I guess we need to figure out what we're doing, whether we're following them to Archet.
I mean, if they've already set the town on fire, you'd assume that any trap springing.
Yeah.
Well, it might be while they're distracted, or it could be Celandine, of course.
Yeah. Maybe not even anything to do. She's just
the worst thing.
just set fire to the
arsonist. The counter argument, and I'll present it now, but John will also present it as you decide what to do in a hurry. Is that if the Blackwolves are attacking the front, that might not be the best way to go. If you can get into the town via the east path, and hey, Atlee's there on his own. If they've tried to go down there as well, perhaps Atlee needs saving.
Could pick him up.
John will be in favour of still trying to enter the town via the east path, is what I'm saying.
It's fair enough.
But it's up to you guys what you do.
I think I initially am keen on picking up Atlee because he seems like a formidable.
Good person to have on our
soldier.
side. Yeah,
absolutely.
At least the spiders.
Yeah.
Although
humans can't fight him at all.
Yeah. Actually, like, we've only heard him say that he's really good against spiders and see him, like, looking nonplussed around spider webs. We haven't actually seen him be a bane of spiders.
Yeah, you're just going to go back to the east path and he's just going to be, like, running around with, like, a spider on it, like, eating the back of his head, going, "Oh, no!"
To be fair, do any of us know about, like, dwarven warriors?
I know about spiders.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Ingrid.
We'll vouch for Dwarven warrior.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Ingrid is from Erebor, right? So yeah,
he looks like a very chunky hobbit.
Know of the dwarves of the mountain, and the Iron Hills. I'll stop talking now. So, good dog food, Sam.
Well, it's cooling now, so he's gonna have it soon.
Oh, he's having it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
mean, to be fair, we cook normal food for him, so it would actually be fine for me.
Yeah,
he's a lucky dog.
Same with the cat. Like the cat just gets it's just chicken and fish. So
horribly spoiled dog.
Mm-hmm. Very, very.
All right. So the hunters kind of pour out of the lodge and start making their way towards you along the bridge. John kind of shouts to you as he is coming up to you. They're likely attacking the gate. maybe some of them along the east path. We should go see to Atlee.
We just came from there. Atlee was alone. He thought there might be a trap to be sprung there, so he suggested that you go that way to catch them. But
I think it's a good plan.
Quickly, then. He may need help. The hunters all have kind of like bows slung across and blades at their hips, and they start sort of a hard run towards the east path. Are you joining them as a group then?
Yep, as fast as possible. I'm running as fast as I can to try and keep alongside John and to say to him, I think if they're attacking the gate, they mean it as a distraction. They're trying to sneak in through the path, the east path. That I reckon that's their main way in.
That may well be the case. So, can you all give me, please, a travel roll, just to see how well you deal with like this run towards East Path? You know what though? I'm going to give all of you an extra die because you're all highly motivated. You know, this town that has offered you safe harbor is under dire threat. So I'm happy to give you all an extra die.
I failed.
I've super failed.
Yeah, I
You just
do
went
not
hope.
make it.
One off. Oh.
Yeah, I was 2 off.
Yeah. Well,
If
you didn't do well.
If I hadn't had that dice, it would have been almost impossible.
So there is like the hunters basically kind of outpace you as you're going, and you kind of see them running ahead towards you. It's a good 15 or 20 minutes of a run, and you lose sight of them somewhat as you're jogging in that direction. But you hear like a clamor ahead of you and sounds of battle that seem to be over quite quickly. And as you round towards the entrance to the east path, you can see that there are a number of black walls kind of scattered on the ground, and the hunters have kind of are lining up, sort of firing a couple of arrows off towards the south. You can't kind of see anyone, but presumably there are some black walls scattering over there. And Granger is kind of knelt on the ground next to the form of Nate Whisperwood, who seems pale and still, lying on the ground.
I'll rush over to Nate and see if there's anything that I can do with healing, but it looks like there probably isn't.
He has taken a great blow to his chest, and you fear he's now beyond your opportunity to heal him.
Can we see sort of the danger ahead of us, directly in front of us now, or
you can't see any black walls kind of ahead of you, but John is sort of leaning down and kind of pulling Anne sort of up alongside him, and he and the other hunter, who I don't think I named, but his name is Fenton, are kind of dashing now towards the entrance to the east path with their blades out.
Where was the smoke coming from as we've kind of approached the town?
You can't see over like the hill and the ruins. You can't see precisely, but now you can see several columns of smoke rising up in the air. And as the sky starts to darken overhead, you can see sort of a glow over the top of the hill that suggests perhaps a great deal of the town is on fire.
running?
Run to the town.
Yeah,
Absolutely. You run along the east path now, alongside the hunters, and you hear again a great clamor in front of you. And as you emerge, because it doesn't take long, you kind of hack and just run past all the spider webs. You emerge out into that kind of open space on the edge of town. The part of the palisade has been kind of wrenched and pulled apart, logs dragged out and tossed to the ground, and you can see kind of a couple of blackwolves kind of clambering over it to get through. But you can see that there are two other blackwolves desperately engaged in battle with skittering, scuttling spiders that are attempting to pierce them with their fangs and with their stingers. And the hunters, with a cry, kind of charge forward into this fight. Are you guys doing the same?
Yeah, I'll try and fire an arrow, probably at the ones trying to make it through the palisade.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I briefly hesitate to see if I can see my son among the black walls.
You cannot see your son among the black walls.
Then I follow.
I think Ingrid will run up she's got a sword drawn to try and get up close.
Absolutely. So there's the kind of the black walls and the spiders are both sort of unaware of you at the moment. So if anyone wants to take, I'd say like 2 volley actions, that's absolutely fine. So let's start with Winky. So I'm assuming what you're going to do is do the taking aim, kind of the
so that's
shot?
prepare shots. So I need to make a scan roll, I believe. Now, would I get any bonus for my like keen-eyed distinctive feature to a scan roll?
Yeah, you know what? If you spend hope on it, then yeah.
Okay, I think I'm going to spend a hope and add 2 dice to this.
That sounds good.
Okay, I don't make it because I rolled 2 ones. Yeah, but that's all right for the moment.
It's just how it is. Well, then, just make a regular shot on one of these. One of these black walls. Then let me just check their parry. But I don't think they don't have a parry, so it's just a standard shot.
And I definitely don't make that. I rolled a 1 on my feat dice and a 1 on one of my d6s.
Well, hopefully, that's all your ones out of the way now.
As usual, Winky is not doing well in terms of shooting.
You've squeezed the bad rolls out of those dice, though.
Yeah.
So, is anyone else doing any kind of volley actions, kind of firing a bow or?
You said there were just 3 of them here, 2 kind of fighting.
There are 2 black walls fighting 2 spiders,
and then
there are also a couple of. There are 2 black walls clambering through the gap in the palisade.
I want to be charging right past the ones engaged with the spiders. Let the spiders deal with them. Try and head up. Get to the
you definitely can't get to those black walls without going through the combat between the black walls and the spiders.
I will try and
ignore the combat though to just keep going, and end up on the other side, or do you have to kind of fight our way through?
You have to go through them to like they're going to get all kinds of free hits on you if you. Because once you're there, they'll realize you're there, and they'll start the whole melee will start happening around the people charging in as well. So you could try and make a couple of sneak rolls to get around, but with the hunters with you as well, it seems
it's fine.
You'd be noticed. You can make some bow shots though if you want. You have 2 actions you can take before you need to charge in.
All right. I mean, I guess I haven't used my bow yet. I'll give it a go. So is it 2 shots? Yeah. Yeah,
or you can do a prepare your shot and then fire like Winky did.
Oh no, I'll just try 2 regular shots.
And who are you firing at?
And so they're black walls, but my first one is a Sauron, so that definitely fails with the others. And second one, what's that? 10, 12, no, that's another fail. It's just too low.
Okay. Those arrows go astray. Is anyone doing anything else with bows or throwing spears or anything like that?
Nope, I'm holding on to my spear this time.
So it's got a different plan.
Okay. Well, then we will start up the combat. What positions are we? Are they called positions, or are they called something else?
I think.
Stances. Yeah. What stances are we taking? So again, there's forward, open, defensive, and rearward.
Otho is intending to do what you suggested, sneak past this first spider combat, since it doesn't seem like he's needed, and he's trying to stop them getting over the wall. So he wants to sneak because that's something he's good at. So I don't know what.
Can I just say there is zero chance that you are somehow going to sneak faster than it takes them to take a few steps to get over the palisade.
Okay, sneak closer and then throw a spear then. So
sure.
Forward.
By the time you've taken one sneak action, they will be over. Like literally, they're clambering through the hole,
so
and you have to like sneak. Like there is no way whatsoever that you will, no matter how well you roll.
In that case, forward.
Okay.
Also forward.
Also forward. Herb, Winky.
Is it called open? Is the balanced one?
Open is the balanced one. Yeah.
Yeah, and rearward as usual.
Yeah. So. Ingrid and Otho, what have you both got in battle? What's your stats in battle?
2 for me.
Let's see. None for me.
Okay, that is easy then. Yeah, you can just throw your spear from where you are if you want to throw your spear at the ones going through the barricade.
Otho has reassessed
there's no
the
chance of
situation
getting to them before
and
they
realised he cannot get to them. He's going to throw his spear.
Okay. Go ahead and throw your spear at them then if you want.
Cool.
And this is the volley. This isn't part of our.
Yeah. Sorry. I got you. So that will just be a spear's roll for that to throw it. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay. And yeah, I'll take one of them. Choose a hope for that. Nope, not worth
it. Are you contemplating spending hope after the roll again? Because remember, you can't do that.
I spent the hope beforehand. I still failed.
Okay, good. It seems to me we are approaching the climax now. Do we want to divvy up our fellowship points to restock our hope supplies?
That seems a good idea.
You have 5 points to divvy up. So perhaps one each and then an extra one for someone?
I'm doing all right on hope. I'm on 8 and my shadow is only 2. So
do we have to add them now, or can we add them like when we need them?
No, you can add them when you need them. I just wanted to avoid having to do admin in a moment of high drama.
Sure.
It's still useful though for being able to add them to our like combat rolls and stuff, even if we're not close to, even if our shadow is not too high, right?
Yeah. So we could just get one each, so we know how much to spend, and then one is spare for emergency.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. Well, then it's going to be Ingrid first. So, are you charging at black walls or spiders?
Black wolves. We've got someone called Spiderbane who I'm sure will be able to handle the spiders.
Although he is not, you cannot see him.
I was wondering.
I'm focused on killing black wolves right now. So
Sure, absolutely.
Somewhere.
Well, then, why don't you give me? And because you're charging in this, and they're kind of unaware, why don't you give me a attack roll? And you know what? Take an extra die for it as well.
And because I'm forward, I get an extra die anyway, right?
Yes, you do indeed. And they have no parry, so there's no kind of adjustment to your target number.
Okay. That's good. 10. Even with all of that, I fail.
Wow.
Good Lord.
I got 14 against a 15. I'm going to double check that. It's 10, 11, 12, 14. I rolled 2 1s, including on the feet die, which was not great.
Okay, then. You charge into the black walls, and at the last moment, the one you're charging kind of sees you, and with a kind of cry of "Hoi!" like dodges round your blade and wheels round to face you with a wicked-looking spear. And Otho, we're on you.
I guess, given that situation, I will charge the same one that Ingrid was trying to hit.
Sure.
Do I get the same bonus?
Yeah, you can take an extra bonus die
on top of the extra die. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh my God, low rolls. One off.
And you're fighting with an axe, is that right?
Yeah, I've got 5 dice in total, but I've got 17 target numbers, so it's quite high. But even so,
that's a lot. You did you take the extra die for being in open?
Yeah, I did. Okay. I took 5 in total with 3 acts +1.
You charge in and swipe for the guy, but absolutely no luck. Again, and he manages. He's a nimble Blackwold. This one. I would point out for anyone watching, these are literally the least tough opponents you can have in the in the rules of the game.
We are heroes. These are tough creatures.
They are.
They are the
Herb.
beefiest. So I am going to I'll spend a hope to I don't get an extra dice because I'm just in the balanced one, right? So I just have the normal number of dice.
Yeah, and we're getting an extra dice just from charging into the chaotic situation. So
okay,
you can
so
take
I'm
that as
rolling.
well.
So I am with my spear. I'm going to try and sort of go for the groin.
Sure.
And that is a success.
Yay!
There we go. What kind of success? Did you roll a 10 or a Gandalf or anything like that?
No, I rolled just a normal success.
No sixes?
No sixes, only 2, 5, 2, 1, 8.
And what is the damage on your
The
spear?
damage on my spear is 6, and the injury is on 8.
I don't need the injury.
20.
The injury is like the resistance if they're rolling armor against a wound. But I'm going to assume, because you didn't mention that you're charging on the one that isn't already fighting Ingrid and Otho. So you charge into that black wall, give a great thrust, and leave a wound. I mean, we could say in the groin, a wound to the hip. Let's say that leaves slightly less unpleasant imagery, and he gives a kind of cry and staggers backwards, but is still like whipping at you with a slightly rusty sword. Winky, are we preparing your shot?
Yes, we are, because otherwise there's no way.
That's reasonable.
Do I get a bonus dice as well? Or is that only for melee?
No, yeah,
Okay.
I think that's good. You get a bonus die to this scan, but not to the
Okay, cool.
to the skill afterwards.
And then am I allowed to do the same thing with my keen
With your keen-eyed? Yeah, absolutely. If you want to spend that hope, then take 2 dice.
I'll spend a hope on that, which means that I get 3 additional dice, which is lovely. Right, so that is 22, and I get a 6 on one of my dice as well.
Cool. Then that means your shot next turn, you'll get an extra 2 dice on it.
Yes, I do.
1 for your
Lovely.
scan roll and 1 for the Tengwar, the 6. So that's good stuff.
Okay.
As for the black walls, I would say that one of the black walls you're fighting, the one fighting Ingrid and Otho, I'm going to roll a die to see if he attacks either of you or a spider that's also there trying to fill its gullet slightly with him, and he is going to attack Otho. So with that in mind, it's a game I have to roll dice in.
Surely I'm the
Ignorant.
least intimidating of these 3 opponents. That makes no sense, Blackwall.
You were the last one to swipe for him. That's obviously why. So
Easiest target.
Okay.
yeah,
Efficiency.
I cannot. Oh, it's your parry I roll against, right? What's your parry?
+3.
Whoa.
No, is there not a
Target
a
number?
phone
Oh, parry up
number?
to 19.
19? Oh, that's a good parry.
Yeah, I got a really good shield. Oh, I don't know if he'll get an extra plus dice, though, because I'm in a forward or whatever it is.
Yeah, he will get an extra die because you're in forward. That, my friends, is not a 19 in any way, shape, or form. So he gives a kind of, he jabs at you out with his spear, but you easily duck aside. He's thrusting while also trying to dodge Ingrid's blade and this spider gnashing next to him. So he's got very little chance of succeeding. And then one of them is striking at, I'll say, is the one striking at Herb or is he striking at the spider? He is striking at Herb. Herb, what's your parry?
My parry is 18.
He certainly does not make that either. His blade cleaves the air near you. The spiders, on the other hand, I'm going to make a roll to see if they divert their attention away from the black wolves onto you guys. Let's see what they do. So I'll give it a 50% chance first, and then we'll roll for a target. And one of them does not. and the other one does. So it sounds to me like I'm not going to kind of calculate whether the spiders hit or whatnot, because that just turns into a ridiculous amount of simming as I'm doing this. But the Blackwold facing Ingrith and Otho takes a nasty bite from the spider as he's kind of like trying to thrash at the hobbit, gives kind of a cry and like he's kind of staggering backwards, clutching his wounded arm to his chest. And the other spider is going to try for Herb. Isn't that exciting? So
I knew I couldn't trust you.
Spider.
Well, they so far have only attacked Blackwolds.
It's true. Maybe they were good people.
Are you saying that Herb, who went to war against spiders, suddenly had an inclination to trust said spider?
Humans go to war with other humans all the time. We don't just dismiss all other humans.
They can smell your son's Blackworld connection on you.
Perhaps it is the case.
Yeah, maybe. So what did you say your parry was?
18.
Then it's hit, and not only hit, it's also a piercing wound. If you could give me, please, your armor roll, that would be good. So what you do with that is you roll your feat die, and then kind of a die for each of your.
Yeah, so I've got a leather shirt and a helm, so that's 2 dice. And
your target number for that is the injury, which is 14.
This is important. Can I use hope?
Yeah, don't see why not.
I will use my hope to increase the number of dice. Oh, wow. Extraordinary success at target number 21. I rolled 2 for Tenguas.
That is good. And you know what? I'm going to interpret that like with the... why not? Let's an extraordinary success on an armor roll. Let's have this spider kind of gnashes out towards you, and with a great crunch, its fangs pierce into your like leather, and you feel that like it does wound you through kind of through the armor, but as it wrenches away, it gives a shrill, rattling shriek, and you see that part of its mandibles have come away in the tough leather of your armor, which is now soaked through with the creature's unpleasant ichor. Take 3 toughness, and obviously check your load and see if that brings you to weary or anything like that.
Yeah.
But the creature kind of like scuttles backwards away, shrieking and tossing its head around and kind of spraying that stuff everywhere, and then disappears into the cobwebs on either side of the east path.
Don't taste too good, do I?
There we go. Ingrith, we're round to you again. So you are facing a wounded Blackwold, and there's a spider still alongside him as well.
That spider just had a nasty. That's a spider just took a nasty bite at Herb, right?
No, that one's gone now.
Oh, no.
Gone.
So, well, they look a bit scary, and injured Blackwold looks less scary. So I'll try for the spider this time.
That's fair enough. The spider. Don't forget to add your extra die. But a spider has a parry of +2, so it's going to be an increase of 2 to your target number.
Okay, so when you say the extra die, you just mean because I'm in forward stance,
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna use a hope, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So that just gives me an extra 1.
An extra 1 die, yeah.
Okay, so it's 10. Okay, yeah, no, that should oh no, wait, it's 10, 19, 22, and plus with one of them being a Tengua.
And the feat die wasn't a 10 or a Gandalf or anything.
No, that was just a 3.
Okay. Well, if you wanted to spend your Tengua, because remember, there's the different things you can spend it on. If you wanted to spend it on the kind of default one of Heavy Blow, I would strongly advise that.
I think I will. So that's a +5 to add my strength.
Okay. So So is it what? So the default damage is 5, and this is.
Oh, sorry. Oh no, my strength is 5. The default damage of my sword is 4. Sorry, so 9
4.
total.
So sorry, 9. Sorry, you've got me confused here. So normally you just do your. Oh, it adds your strength. Oh, I see.
Yeah. So the sword damage is 4, and then my strength is 5. So
yeah. Although I tell you what, here we go as well. Sorry for being confusing. What did you roll on your feat die?
3.
Okay, never mind. I was going to say another thing you can do is add extra, add more to the feat die, and therefore, if you'd rolled 9, you might prefer to try and get a piercing blow on it and just finish it off. But either way, you give kind of the spider is very focused on trying to nibble on this Blackwold, and you give a powerful kind of one of the war cries of the Bardings: swing your sword mightily and cleave 3 legs off the spider as it reels round, screeching and rattling its remaining appendages at you. You've dealt it a very grievous blow, although it is still standing, or whatever we call spiders. Standing, sure.
Maybe now, but
instantly, I don't think I mentioned it. The other 2 Blackwolds at the palisade have now disappeared off into the town. Otho, you have a wounded Blackwold and a wounded spider.
Let's try to finish off this Blackwold then. I will.
Don't forget your extra die for being in forward.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Ooh, that's good.
First round, dud. Second round, nailing it.
Yeah, tons. Okay, 24 total and 2 Tenguas.
2 Tenguas. Okay. Any is your feat die a 10 or a Gandalf or anything?
No.
I keep asking that. You guys know to look out for it for now. I'll stop mentioning it. I mean, what's the damage on your axe?
5.
Okay. You don't need the Tenguas.
Okay.
You know what,
though? Really awesomely.
You know what, though? Here we go. I'm happy for you to spend. Would you like for me to spend those 2 Tenguas for you in a positive fashion?
I mean, yeah. If I'm finishing them off and I want to do something else with them.
Okay. You take a couple of steps towards the Blackwold, who's still sort of clutching his arm next to him and not wishing to be outdone by the tall one next to you. You give a cry, hew mightily round with your axe, and it swings round, catching the spider a horrible blow on its whatever passes for its face first, and
I was attacking the Blackwold.
I know.
Oh, sorry.
and then burying the head of the axe in Sam.
The Blackwold.
I was going to let you kill them both, Sam. Would have been a glorious moment for you. But now,
sorry.
just shame.
You're right. You'll be much more likely to go through a spider into someone else rather than go through someone else into a spider.
That
so
was
I can
my
see the
thought.
logic behind it.
Also, in my mind's eye, the spider was to the right of the Blackwold, and you were swinging round. But
it was a great idea. I approve.
I was just trying to do a cool thing.
No, you're perfectly well done. Well done. It's just, it makes sense that I would be confused when I said I was taking the Blackwold, and you said it's fine.
I've clearly done nothing to earn your trust in the years. All we have left is Herb, and you are facing a very wounded Blackwold. It seems odd to you, these kind of desperate bandits and brigands, these men and women of little moral fortitude and even less heart and wits, would be holding against an assault like this. But there is something within them. A fire has been lit, and this one is charging at you, sort of sword. I think this one had a sword raised high. Perfectly willing to die for whatever cause is at the heart of this. Do you want to make your attack?
Yes. Can I shift stances? Or is that an
action as well? I think you know what? I don't know off the top of my head. It may be in John's notes here. Let me have a look. I remember this coming up last time when we did.
Being you can't, and then we were like, oh wait, you actually can.
You can.
It just it might be like it costs you a turn, and then I don't want to do that. But like,
Was it at the
doesn't cost-
start of each round we could reset them if we wanted to?
It might be. It might be. I'm perfectly happy running it as that right now. If you want to drop into forward or whatever.
Yeah,
that's-
I was like, I want to up my chances.
Well, you know what? While we're doing this, any one of my other players who wants to be kind enough to delve into the PDF, it will be somewhere around where the stances are described, which is on page 95. And if someone wants to have a quick rummage, but I'll let you do it now, Herb. That's fine.
Yeah. So I'm adjusting to forward. So I'm opening myself up to more harm, and I got a great success at a 20, which was 1 Tenghua.
Sure, absolutely.
So
And you fight with a spear, is that right?
Yeah, with the spear.
Yeah. You've fought enough desperate men charging at you with their weapons raised high while you're holding a spear to know exactly what you need to do now. The haft of the spear embeds into the mud beneath you. You slam your foot against the back of it to hold it steady in the ground, and the Blackwell just impales himself on the end of your spear, and you whip sharply to the right for him to tumble off to the ground, dead before he hits the mud underneath you. Holly has confirmed all players select a combat stance at the start of each round.
Cool.
So, yeah. I've got one player in a second. No! It fixes it. It always fixes it.
You're moving too fast. You've become a blur.
Matt is just vibrating with excitement at the Tolkien finale.
I have the speed force inside me.
So what have the hunters been doing while we've been
fighting other Blackwells and spiders? But I'm not.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just curious if any of them have gone to the wall before us, basically.
No. Like there were more Blackwells and spiders, but they were. I should have made that clear. You are right, but I didn't want to do like a whole thing where I roll dice for them all. I'm too old for that stuff.
They're in a similar position to us. Then they've overcome them, and
they're in a similar position to you. They've just overcome like a small little wave of Blackwells and spiders on their own, and now like you're all stood as a group, kind of looking towards the palisade. It basically has like sort of 2 gaps rent in it. Okay, there's a gap to the left and a gap to the right, and without wondering whether we should do like a thing with where we're basically you're splitting up at this point. John kind of takes a couple of paces towards the gap on the left, and then kind of looks over and says, that looks to be out near the gate. Anne, Fenton, go see what you can do to help. I'll take the others. We'll try and circle around and get to you. And John kind of like paces over near you and just kind of looks at you and looks at the mess you've made of the Blackwells and the spiders on the ground. And he just says, ready?
Yeah.
Okay. You dash through the gap in the palisade, and I think we'll take our second break there, folks. I think that works out about right. And then we'll come back and we'll do our final bit of this story. Cool. So there we go. So we will see you in about 10 minutes, friends. And until then, just have fun. Just have a good time.
Or else.
Or else.